Ladies and gentlemen, the countdown has begun. TSL.HyuN versus Evil Genius's PUMA. Game number 3 is about to begin. The map is going to be ESV Ohana. The game is tied. Rather, the match is tied 1-1. Who's going to take game number 3 and progress 2-1? We'll find out in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Spawning in the top left-hand side position of ESV Ohana in the blue Terran colors, we have none other than Evil Genius's very own PUMA. Going to be starring in Dreamhack EIZO today. His opponent, though, taking a game off him just now on Shakura's Plateau. What an incredible macro Zerg this guy is. Will he be able to lay on the aggression one more time on Ohana and take the series win? Let's find out. It's going to be Team SCV Life's HyuN. Both of these guys, of course, are Korean, and I believe competing in GSL. HyuN currently, I think, not in Code A, but competing in the Code B qualifiers for a Code A slot very, very soon. So we'll see if he will be able to make it there. HyuN playing in quite a lot of the daily tournaments as well on the European and the North American servers, so he has a lot of practice, and he's going to be able to really extend that now that he's actually at the venue in Stockholm, playing without lag as well, playing at his best against Evil Genius's PUMA. Both of these guys incredibly strong players, and I think this game, to be perfectly honest, is a little bit too close to call. Barracks going to be going down at the wall-off point for PUMA again, as we saw in that previous game. And in the meantime, HyuN looks like he is continuing producing drones, and I suspect this next one is likely going to become a hatchery down at the bottom location. Natural expansion's not too difficult to defend on this map because we have a 2 force field wide ramp here. So not too wide. A spine crawler should be able to cover all of that. A bunker or two should be fine as well. And both sides should be able to expand without too much of an issue, as this drone just going to be a little bit annoying to the SCV building the barracks there. And here we go. PUMA, is he taking gas? He is actually taking gas, so he's not going to be going for that one Rax fast expand this time. He's taken the gas at the normal time. HyuN is going to be able to scout this, and he will probably know, hang on a second, this will mean that PUMA can potentially get those, get the reactor, the factory is what I meant to say, get those reactor Hellions out a little bit earlier than he did when he run Rax FE'd, so he's going to have to be a little bit quicker in being ready for that denial of creep spread and potential run-ins to try and roast those drones. And of course, nothing likes roast Zerg like Hellion, so he has to be very, very careful there, does HyuN, and he should indeed be okay coming off of it. Meanwhile, the tech lab going down actually on the barracks. It looks like we're going to be seeing a Reaper opening from PUMA. So this gas is not going to be going into an early factory by the looks of things. And one of those SCVs on 10 health at the moment. This drone doing so well for itself in terms of harassment. Will he be able to get anything out, though? The Reaper now going to be popping out. And it looks like the drone, not going to be taking the second gas. PUMA poised to try and deny him that gas. But it looks like the SCV is going to be able to take him out by himself. And that means that the Reaper is now going to be heading out. So we aren't going to see fast reactor Hellions coming out from PUMA. Instead, I believe a factory going to be built in the exact same location, and there we go. So a Reaper going to be popping out as PUMA expands. That's going to keep TSL.HyuN tied down a little bit. Without speed, of course, his Lings aren't going to be able to defend quite as effectively as he would like. This Reaper going to be able to do a lot of annoying harassment damage. Oh no, he goes up just where the Zerglings are. Very, very nice move there by TSL.HyuN, and not a single not a single drone going down at the moment. Zerglings just sticking by the cliff where he thinks the Reaper is going to be walking up. Really nice micro by both players here, and PUMA actually gets out of the base for now with that Reaper, but the Overlord sees it, and Zerglings are coming in to try and do a bit of damage. The Reaper is now in the red, but not quite able to get killed. 10 hit points out of 50. Very, very nicely held there by TSL.HyuN. He's going to be able to continue droning up in peace now. 10 hit points, not an awful lot on that Reaper, and Queens at both bases are going to ensure that these drones are completely safe. Reaper being forced to head back home. In the meantime, an Overlord going to be able just to quickly check out that tech, and wow! We are actually going to see reacted Hellions come out of PUMA here. Never mind. So that barracks came down, and a factory got placed on top of the tech lab. But then another reactor got placed down, and the factory got lifted again, so it could be put on the reactor. So it looks like definitely delayed compared to normal. I mean, it's not as fast as a gas first opening, and since the Reaper expand happened, it's not even as fast as that. but we will eventually have a couple of Hellions pop out onto the map here. Only 2 Hellions, though, before the factory moves back down. He doesn't quite have the luxury of time to get 4 of those Hellions out because of the delay in this build, thanks to the Reaper expand. He's instead going to immediately go for those siege tanks and that siege mode. Space Shark chilling out in the middle of this ESV map, of course, as the Hellion's going to be moving towards TSL.HyuN base. Alright, he's just going to be denying the creep spread at the front here. There is a creep tumor on the high ground, threatening to maybe sneak by into the low ground here, which is something HyuN probably wants to do to try and deny these Hellions that creep tumor. Let's see if he can do that. He's, oh wow, that's very forward. He really should be putting these queens a little bit further forward if he wants to get away with that, but it looks like PuMa isn't paying attention. Will he be able to kill the creep tumor? No, he doesn't. The Hellions actually move away, and sadly, not able to get that in time there. So HyuN going to be able to continue with his creep spread completely fine there, and the double engineering base for those double ups going to be popping up here from EG.PuMa at some point very, very soon indeed. Siege mode now completing, and we have double Marines coming out of that reactored barracks, as well as the 3rd orbital command now being produced from him. Oh, so popular among Korean Terrans this time around. Marine King Prime, of course, doing it quite often as well. And HyuN is going to be able to get just a little bit of scouting there. He sees that a Rax is incoming, another Rax with a reactor, and a factory with a tech lab is here. So he knows that a highly charged Marine tank composition. However, he only sees a single engineering bay. He doesn't know that the double ups are in progress. Right, so what else do we have in the base here? We actually have an evolution chamber and a Baneling that's going down now for TSL.HyuN, which means maybe we're going to be seeing once again a little bit of that trademark aggression. Just a bit oversaturated in the main base there. He can probably afford to be sending, oh wow, no, he's oversaturated here as well, and that signifies that HyuN is probably going to be aiming to take a 3rd at some point soon. There we go. Wow, as soon as I hovered over it, the hologram popped up. He is at 60 drones to 45 of PuMa at the moment. 69 to 68. The army supply for PuMa is technically a bit larger, but those Hellions aren't able to do anything as it currently stands. These Marines and tanks are fairly static and being used for defense, so we're going to wait and see if PuMa decides to execute some sort of timing off of this. Let's check it out a little bit later. But this game number 3 is going to be very, very tense indeed. Both of these players really, really want to advance to the best possible seeding in the round of 16. And of course, both of these guys in a very, very difficult group here. I believe Slivko is also in this group, as well as Nurchio. So these guys fighting to make it into the top 2, just to make it into the round of 16. And if they win their group, of course, they have superior seeding as well. 1-1 is going to complete. Now, do we have an armory on the way? We don't, so we're not going to be seeing any sort of super quick 2-2 come out here from EG.PuMa. But 1-1 is still going to be a very useful place to start off with, especially considering there are no upgrades on these Zerglings and these Banelings as it currently stands. 1-1 is actually only about halfway complete, but TSL.HyuN has got the Spire on the way as well. It is in the corner at the natural, and that is going to be popping any moment now. So it looks like Zergling, Baneling, Muta, once again, going to be the order of the day for TSL.HyuN. If it worked last game, why fix something that isn't broken? Let's wait and see if he is able to... if he's able to pull this one off. Fingers crossed he is. And also PuMa, a very, very strong player as well. Hopefully he'll be able to hold it off with the tanks as well. I just don't know who is going to be winning this game. Terran versus Zerg. The supplies are basically neck and neck. Both of them just under 110 at the moment. 3rd base is now up for both of them. HyuN should really be transferring a couple of drones at the moment because he was oversaturated beforehand over here in the main base. Some of those drones can go to the 3rd shortly, and he's just going to be taking out these destructive rocks and getting his creep spread on as much as possible. Nearly half the map is now gooped up in purple on the minimap. As you can see, this queen doing an excellent job of continuing to goop up everything on ESV Ohana, and this paradise is slowly turning into a dead island. Lots and lots of horrible looking dead trees out in the middle of the map. Really nice creep spread here from TSL.HyuN. Lots of active creep tumors, and now the Mutalisks are out as well. Let's see what harassment damage they're going to do. They're going to decide to conglomerate outside the base, but there are missile turrets around. The missile turret ring is being constructed as we speak, and it doesn't look like harassment damage is the order of the day for these mutas at the moment. Could they have come over to the 3rd? Maybe. There is a single missile turret, but these Marines are within fighting distance of those mutas, so they would be able to pop by and stim. So I think HyuN is just going to be retreating back to his base for now. Still no droppage coming out from EG.PuMa at the moment. You can see the top right and bottom left corners of the map remain very much unexplored. So PuMa isn't looking to harass himself at the moment. He is trying to macro up. He's got 2-2 with +1 vehicle on the way, and that is very, very nice. A pneumatized carapace actually coming up for TSL.HyuN. So this is going to be very interesting indeed as the Hive and Pathogen Glands both start along with Carapace level 2. Excellent stuff from both these players macroing up. I wonder what HyuN has planned for this. Where is he upgrading that? Oh my goodness, we have +2, but we don't actually have +2 attacks. Or +1 missile attacks being researched at the second evolution chamber for HyuN just yet. That's going to be potentially quite interesting indeed. Meanwhile, at the natural, we do see nice saturation, and transfer to the third has now completed. In fact, the third is now oversaturated, but the fourth hatchery is about to pop by as well. 42 lings in production, and I think HyuN is going to be going for some sort of timing here. We're going to have to wait and see. These upgrades, though, from EG.PuMa are going to be really, really big. Let's wait and see if it's actually able to be enough. 1-1 able to take out that SUV attacking that creep tumor there. And this creep, it's going to slowly get into this natural and the third base of PuMa if he doesn't do something about it soon. My god, it is spread so far out across the map, it's actually ridiculous at the moment. This watchtower is covered in creep now, and this is on PuMa's half of the map, ladies and gentlemen. What an amazing bit of creep spread there from TSL.HyuN, and we do have the creep tumor finally being taken out by HyuN. Going to try and defend his creep vigorously with these Zerglings and these Mutas. Will he be able to do it indefinitely, though, because we're going to have tanks creeping forward as well. The Marines now going to be popping onto creep here, and PuMa is being pressured a little bit, but both sides are now close to max 192 to 188 supply, and an engagement is imminent here. We have HyuN now also spreading his overlords out across the map to deny those drops. We don't have PuMa in this game making a Viking to deny those overlords, so it looks like HyuN just has superb map vision. Look at this. This is HyuN's vision, ladies and gentlemen. It's not actually everyone. HyuN is doing such a good job with his creep spread and his overlord spread. And PuMa is going to have to be very, very worried about moving out, trying to kill off some of these creep tumors. HyuN deciding when would be a good time to engage. Oh no! One of the infestors getting taken out there, but fungal growth taking out an awful lot of Marines, and the Zergling surround is going to ensure that those Marines don't give him any more trouble at all. We even have a scouting command center over here. That is incredible stuff. TSL.HyuN going to be moving out on the right-hand side of the map. He no longer, of course, has vision on the left-hand side because of those creep tumors being destroyed. But these tanks are awfully naked while these Marines are out killing creep tumors. HyuN has to be a little bit careful there, and a drop at the fourth does get immediately cleaned up by HyuN. He is completely on top of it. Look at the hatchery. Only a number of hit points here, and a lot of spines going up now to try and defend it from future drops. Do we have another drop going down? We do not. So it looks like that was all that was up PuMa's sleeve just now. And here we go. The tanks are sieging up. That's going to be time. PuMa is being attacked by HyuN. The tanks are in the front. A horrible position for 4 or 5 of those tanks, and it looks like HyuN is barreling his way through PuMa's army here, but he is losing so much himself. Only the Mutalisks left. Will he be able to kill the tanks? No, he's actually going to be going home. Those Mutas aren't going to be enough, and PuMa is going to be able to hold at the cost of most of his army supplies, now dead even at 153 apiece. Let's take a look at what the worker count is like. 79 to 75, so both these players macroing up to their heart's content, but the upgrades are probably favoring PuMa at the moment. We have 2-2. Have we got 3-3 on the way? We do have 3-3 on the way for PuMa, and vehicle weapons level 2 as well, and they are slightly ahead of the Zerg Grand Carapace level 3 as another drop does get loaded up for PuMa. Let's keep a watch out on that left-hand side. This space is going to get denied here. Do we have a couple of Mutalisks to try and take this down? We don't. Instead, we're just going to use a burrowed Zergling. And this drop now coming into the face of this spine crawler that is going to try its best to deny it. A lot more Zerglings popping in there. Do we get a transfuse on this spine crawler? No, it actually survives with 10 hit points. I am surprised there. Very, very nicely done. And it looks like that drop's getting cleaned up, and PuMa now going to be pushing out towards the middle of the map again. But seriously, the entire map is freaking purple right now. It's absolutely incredible. And HyuN would actually do well to spread that creep tumor back a little bit so that a single scan doesn't take it out, and he can keep up this creep spread over here on the right and left hand side. So PuMa now going to be moving out. He doesn't know that this creep tumor is still here, and HyuN is going to know exactly where he is going to be moving towards the fourth base. Will he be taking it head on, or is he going to be going for a flank? Nice scan! Sees exactly where TSL.HyuN's army is, and that's going to allow PuMa to get into position. The siege tanks are already sieged up. He is not going to be taken by surprise, and HyuN looks like he might be going for some sort of flank, or is he going to go for a counterattack? Let's find out. He's actually moving towards the fourth base. He's got at the watchtower. Yes, he's going towards the fourth now, so it looks like a definite counterattack here. Is he going to come behind, though? Let's find out. Oh, nice reinforcement, picking off 2 tanks there, and I'm not sure he can afford to engage at this fourth. Indeed, he does not. The tanks now sieging up before they actually get within range of the fourth hatchery, and HyuN going to be going for the bust at the natural. Oh no, there's a gap in the wall, and even though the fourth base is down, we are going to be getting into a little bit of a base race situation here. PuMa and HyuN max out versus 169 supply, but so many links getting into the heart of PuMa's base right now. PuMa's actually ignoring the third, trying to get rid of all the tech in the natural and the main. I think that's a decent decision. But these Marines are so far ahead of the tanks that a couple of banelings could be problematic here. The Ultralisk Cavern does get taken down, but the natural is now completely destroyed, and the production structures in the main are being camped out. HyuN camping out the production structures. The third base, don't forget, is still completely functional. Will he be able to take down PUMA? I don't know. This base race is going to get very crazy. No more units are going to be able to produce from PUMA. What HyuN needs to do is try and defend what he has left once the production structures are destroyed. As long as he keeps a hold of a couple of hatcheries and continue to produce, he should be okay. What is the army supply looking like? 97 to 84 in HyuN's favor, but don't forget, those siege tanks do an awful lot of damage to those Zerglings, so this game could still go either way. Now moving into the main, and the hive is now going to be targeted by PUMA. This is definitely a true base race, but the third base has remained untouched. A lot of spy crawlers going up to try and delay PUMA's push, and here we go. That one bunker trying to hold out for as long as it can, but unfortunately it will not be able to hold on much longer. These Lings going to be streaming in here. There are a decent number of Marines though, but the mutas backing up the Lings are going to be a little bit too much. More and more Lings now streaming out into the middle of the map, and I think HyuN is going to just about be able to hold this. Will he be able to take out PUMA 2-1? This is going to be insanely close. I would say it's a bit of an advantage to HyuN at the moment. 80 supply to 64. And PUMA is now stuck in the main base of HyuN. The problem is HyuN now has a fully mining third base. Let's see how many workers he has left. 16 to 12 at the moment. This is not clear at all, and some banelings being produced. Wow, all of the banelings being produced to try and destroy these Marines and tanks once it's brought. And if he does that, this remaining force will be able to take out what's left of PUMA's army. We do have the planetary fortress now being surrounded by barracks to try and minimize the surface area on that. Is HyuN going to be taking it out? No, it looks like he's going to be going back to defend, but if he kills this army, it's basically going to be HyuN with an army versus PUMA without, and HyuN is now taking a supply lead 104 to 62. PUMA has to really pull something amazing out of the bag here. He realizes that, hang on a second, I've skipped the third base, but he knows that HyuN is going to be defending it, which is why these siege tanks are sieged up on the high ground here at the former natural. This planetary fortress is continuing to produce SCVs though, and it looks like this game is going to stabilize at least for a bit, but as soon as HyuN decides to engage his army, and here we go, 3 Ultralisks coming in from the front, and we also have Zerglings going to join in the fray as well. The Muta's going to try and pick off the Medivacs, and the Banelings! He needs to pick up and leave! He's not... Oh no, the Banelings are actually being blocked by the Ultralisks there, so it looks like PUMA is going to get a little bit of reprieve. All of the mutas were crucially targeted down by the Marines, and that means, once again, HyuN, without those Mutalisks, unable to do any damage to those medevacs, and this drop could prove to be very interesting indeed. He's going to be heading towards the third base of HyuN, but HyuN now going for a kill move at the front of PUMA's base, and he has a lot of racks, and he does have a planetary fortress, but he has no units to defend this. This could be huge. This drop is going to determine whether or not PUMA is going to be able to stay in this game. He's now trying to target the Baneling nest down. He's going to be moving in to try and kill as many drones as he can. Shortly, the spine crawlers are on the wrong side, and this base is getting absolutely rolled. And PUMA gives the GG. TSL.HyuN, ladies and gentlemen, 63 supply ahead to 34, is going to take the series 2-1 over PUMA. Very, very well played by HyuN. He is going to be so pleased with that result. My goodness, we have some excellent group games up in store for you in just a bit, though, guys. Don't go anywhere. More epic DreamHack action coming up in just a moment.